Hey, everybody. Welcome to the It's Really None of Our Business podcast. I'm your host, Monica Vandermeer, and this is
Amanda Nielsen.
Welcome back, everybody.
Woo! Okay, this is a show where we open a cheap bottle of wine and we attempt to solve the problems of the world. This week, we're going to do something a little different. Anybody who's watching me look down, it's only because I'm checking the levels. I want the audio quality to be good for you guys. I think we're good.
Amanda's one of those people that, she's our quality control expert. I'm the one who just rides it out. I'm riding on Amanda's coattails for sure.
No. Okay, so I try to be. I guess out of the two of us, I have to be,
Yeah.
but I also am really bad at it. So that's why often you'll see in our episodes the lighting's really bad or the sound is really bad. That's my fault.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to blame you because I refuse to take control of it. I refuse to do it. So.
But you are the one who finds all the good content anyways.
So I'm our content creator.
You're the content.
Okay, then
yeah.
this podcast is about me.
No, we are a team.
Okay,
Teamwork here. Okay, so speaking of who does what, you guys kind of have, anybody who's been listening to the show for a while, you kind of know who we are based on, we talk about our lives and our husbands and our kids and all that stuff. But I wanted to do a little let's get to know the host episode.
I think it's a great idea.
So I came up with some questions and I'm going to ask them to you. And we're going to have a little get to know Monica.
Should I be scared?
Maybe. I don't know. No, I don't think so. The first one's easy, okay? So Monica, do you shower in the morning or at night?
Both.
Oh, so you're a 2 shower a day person?
I am, yeah.
Do you shower in the morning to wake you up, or what's the point?
No, I shouldn't. So I basically, this is probably too much information, but I'm going to share it with you anyways.
Perfect.
If I poop, I need a shower.
Every time?
Yes, every time. I have this need to shower poop. So if I poop 3 times, which doesn't often happen that I poop 3 times.
What if you poop when you're out of the house?
Then
you're stressed.
No, I'm not stressed. I'm just okay, whatever, let this ride, whatever. So basically, you get up in the morning, you poop, you shower.
Oh.
That's shower number 1.
Okay.
Then I work out at lunch, shower number 2, and then before I go to bed, take another shower.
Yeah.
So that's often 3 showers in a day.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I often end up with 2 or 3 showers a day too. Similar reasons, not the pooping one. I don't usually, these days, I don't shower in the morning as much because I just get up and roll to the office in my house and work there and roll down the stairs.
Remember that episode we did a little while ago where the what the fuck was popcorn poop in the bed? And I'm I will never be a popcorn pooper.
No, you definitely won't.
There'll be no popcorn poop nuggets in my bed.
It's so funny that you shower every time. It's just such, why don't you need to get a bidet?
I guess.
The bidet
I guess
thing.
it would help because, you just want to have a clean butt, you
yeah.
know?
Interesting. Do you have a handheld shower?
Yeah.
Is that, Okay. I want to know more things about your showering routine. Do you brush your teeth in the shower?
I do.
Me too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think Greg thinks that's kind of weird.
Do you keep the toothbrush in there or do you bring it in with you every time?
I do both because I brush my teeth more than once a day, right? So I brush my teeth. Usually it's my nighttime showering that I'm brushing in my teeth. And I gotta tell you why. I hate brushing my teeth.
Okay.
I hate it.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Really?
Yeah. It's just a waste of time.
Because there are people, I thought it was the only one.
Oh, no, I find it an inconvenience. I do it, obviously.
Okay, so I have one of those toothbrushes, and I'm sure you do too, and it does its thing for 3 minutes. It goes...
I'm the old trusty manual.
No. So Greg is one of those people who's never had a cavity, and doesn't go to the dentist. He hasn't been there in 10 years, and he's got perfect no cavity teeth, and my teeth are filled with cavities all the way through. Not because I don't brush them, but just because they're really crowded. But anyways, every time I brush my teeth, I say to myself, I hate brushing my teeth. I hate it. And so I'm in the shower and I find that I can be more distracted. So I'm brushing my teeth and it's got a 3-minute timer and I'm brushing my teeth, hating it, every minute of it. Yeah. But at least, and then I'm
you
messy.
Just let it get everywhere, spit it everywhere. If I'm showering with Karsten and I'm brushing my teeth at the same time, 100% of the time I will spit it all over him. I find it so funny, and he's just because we have 2 shower heads, so we often shower together. It's just it's very
hilarious.
Because when you have 2 if you only have 1 shower head, showering together is annoying because then you're fighting over the water. But when you have 2 shower heads, it's both of you are, you're getting the adequate amount of water.
We're really learning a lot about each other right now.
On this first question.
Yeah.
Okay, what about peeing in the shower?
I'm not really not that I have anything against it.
Yeah.
I don't have anything against it, but my routine is usually go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
And then
You don't have to pee anymore. You've already peed.
it's done. But if and say the same thing is like after I work out, I generally drink in like this much water and I have to pee really bad.
Yeah.
So it's pee and then shower, right?
See, I started peeing in the shower and now I can't not pee in the shower. Like it has become like almost like as soon as I get in the shower, my body's like, you need to pee now. So like if I, same as you, I work out at lunch and then I go have a shower, I'll like turn the shower on and like hop in and that's where I pee.
And I have no problem with that. Like
it's like, it's seriously like,
But this
bad,
is one of those topics that people go, oh my God, you're disgusting. And I think we're disgusting people.
I've asked a lot of people about the peeing in shower and everybody's like, oh yeah, I pee in the shower.
Everybody?
Like, most people. You guys should let us know. Do you guys pee in the shower? I'm like very curious. Because
I've watched one of those, like I was watching one of those TV shows, like, where you get married at first sight? Have you seen that?
Love that show.
And one of the questions was like, do you pee in the shower? And this woman was like, you're disgusting. I can't believe you pee in the shower. Like, that's disgusting.
Why?
And I'm like, yeah, it just goes down the...
I don't think it's gross. Like, if you're pooping in the shower, that's weird. But like pee, I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't know. I also started, I'm giving you all my like showering.
Tell me. All these are all like hygiene questions.
We all pick our nose, right? Everybody
Sure.
picks their nose. Like that's, your fingers fit up there to, like there's a reason that you you have to get the shit out of your nose.
This is stuff that people don't talk about. What do you do with the nose boogers?
Well, I just started doing it in the shower. It's like I'm like flicking right. I'm like perfect.
Sure. I often blow my nose in the shower.
I'm like, so I just like, that's part of my routine now. I just like checked. You got anything up there? Nope. Okay. Like
it's just like you're all clean. Like all the orifices are clean.
It's like I just do everything in the shower.
Everything that, and if you have to poop, you're like, why get out?
Yeah, well, no, that's the one thing I started because shoving it down the drain.
Yeah, because there's all those little holes you have to like.
Yeah, no, then you're in there a lot longer. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I agree.
Okay, so now that we know everything about your shower.
Monica showers 3 times a day. Yeah.
Okay, what TV show are you watching right now? Or are you watching one?
I think I've like binge watched every Netflix series. I've watched everything that there is to watch.
What did you just finish? Like, what was your most recent one that sticks out?
I don't know. I'm rewatching Ted Lasso.
Oh, I still haven't watched that.
So
is it good? It's
yeah.
worth watching?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's totally worth watching. I really like it.
I'm rewatching The Office. It's so good. Did you ever watch The Office?
You know what? Like my son Johnny really liked The Office, and every time that we were together, he would turn it on, and I liked it. But so Greg thinks I have no sense of humor. So
I don't believe that.
So there's so many things that are on TV. I'm like, this is so stupid. Okay, for instance, TikToks.
Oh.
Greg loves the TikTok, and he keeps on showing me these things, and I'm like, not funny. Why are you laughing? I don't.
You have like a very.
I don't know what my sense of humor is, but it's
yeah.
not his, and so he.
What is your like? What do you find funny? Like something that I would know, not Ted Lasso.
I don't even know. I can't even think of any. I'm funny.
I find myself to be the gold standard.
Yeah. Oh, you know who I like? You know that guy who's he's a comedian and he wears no shirt and
Bert Kreischer.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is funny.
Do you ever listen to his podcast?
He's got a podcast?
It's called like the Bert Cast.
No.
And then he also does one with a different comedian.
Machine.
Yeah.
I think he's hilarious.
I like him as a human too. Like
Yeah.
he's a good dude. He's good friends with Joe Rogan. He's like that whole group. Like
Right.
I'm a big fan. Big fan of Bert Kreischer.
So I guess we maybe do. Like,
I think we have similar.
Okay, there was also this Netflix series with this dude. I'm terrible with remembering names, but he's a young comedian, and he took his father to Thailand with him, like for a year, and his dad was like super proper, and like I found that fucking
It was on
hilarious.
Netflix?
Yeah, it's a Netflix series. It's like Vacationing with My Dad, or God, I'll have to find the name for you because that was hilarious. Like
Okay.
I watched the whole thing through and just killed myself laughing. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. How often, in percentage, do you wash your hands after peeing?
I gotta tell you, not every time.
Oh,
Do you?
no. That's why I wanted to ask.
Okay, so if I'm in a public bathroom,
Yeah.
I'm in the mall, yes.
Yeah.
If I'm in a restaurant, yes. But if
Yeah.
I'm at home and I'm just drinking my coffee, I have to pee.
Yeah.
Like,
If there's no drips on your hands or anything,
Yeah.
what is the purpose?
yeah.
Like, I don't need
like
to.
what? Like, I know that people think we're disgusting
Yeah.
right now. People are like, she doesn't wash her hands every time. Well,
They
come
don't
on,
either. They
do
don't
you?
either. Like,
Like,
that's.
do you people seriously? Are you all that anal retentive
Yeah.
that you all wash your hands every single time?
I don't think so. I think most people are like us.
I think I would pretend.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, you just turn the water on and let it run.
Well, if there's somebody over, I might.
So funny. Okay.
Am I weird?
No, I'm the exact same. Like, I would say percentage, if I'm at home, percentage of times I wash my hands, 5%.
Okay.
And that's if I happen to, like, drip on my finger. I'm like, I
So,
should probably wash my... Or if I'm about to cook something. If I pee and I'm, like, heading to the kitchen, I'm like, well, I'm going to wash my hands before I cook anyway, so I might as well wash them now.
So I guess we're not disgusting. But so I just recently bought a new hand soap for my side of the bathroom. So Greg's got his side, I got my side. He's got his own hand soap. And he goes through things like hand soap, deodorant, and toothpaste at a rate of like 10-1 to me. Like, I bet you. Like, he's constantly buying. A good stick of deodorant will last me 8 months. Like, I'm just like a one wiper, right?
Yeah,
like, you
like
just
once a day.
Like, yeah. But he's like, he does this, just like wipes.
He's like well,
he's
guys
like
are
coating
different.
it. He's got like this much.
But guys also have armpit hair. I've never understood that. Like, it doesn't even touch the skin. Doesn't the deodorant just sit on their hair?
Yeah.
So how does it even work? That's why they have to put so much on there.
I guess that's true. And for sure, if you ever grow your armpit hair, which I have done.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me.
In my hippie days, I grew it all out. Because I was like, I'm just going to be natural. And the big company is just trying to make money off you. So.
Stick it to the man, Monica.
I grew it out. And you stink all the time. And of course, I wasn't wearing deodorant either. So, you know, because if you're going to be a hippie, you're not going to wear deodorant. You're going to grow out the hair. You're gonna embrace the culture, right?
Yeah.
You're looking at me like I'm disgusting. Okay, so now I shave it but deodorant, like, especially if I'm home. Okay, I'm home all day. I work from home.
Yeah. I put it on like once a day after a shower.
Well, I'll put it on for my shower after my workout shower. Because why would I put on deodorant to work out in at home?
Because sometimes, like, it helps you not sweat as much, and, like, the sweat's a little, like, annoying.
I don't really sweat there very much. Like, my sweat's all, like, boob sweat, back sweat, crotch sweat. That's where all, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think it stops you from sweating. I think it just
What
stops
about
the smell.
antiperspirant? Maybe we should buy it. Isn't that what antiperspirant is?
Well, I know that there are some shit that you can put on your armpits and stuff to stop sweating. Like, people who...
If you get Botox in your armpits, it stops you from sweating, I heard.
Well, maybe I don't have
Ask
an
your
issue.
sister.
Yeah.
She does Botox. Okay, next question. As a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Okay, this is really funny. So, as a child, that question when people ask me all the time was, I said, I'm either going to be a nun...
What?
Or a social worker or a prostitute. And I think I said that just to be funny.
Yeah.
Like, because, like I said, I'm hilarious and I always was. But that was the joke. But what I really wanted to do was be a social worker.
Oh, okay.
So from the time I think I was in grade 6 or whatever, I said, yeah, I'm going to go to university and I'm going to be a social worker because my father was a social worker.
Oh, okay.
So I thought he had the coolest job. And he really did have a really cool job. But then I just never did.
Because you... had babies?
I know. I think that's because I thought, oh, I don't know, do I really want to deal with people's problems? I wasn't encouraged to go to university. Like, it's like, why are you going to university?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
It wasn't even like an option for me to go to university. Like, it never crossed my mind to go, which is like really kind of weird.
It's interesting. But okay, growing up in Calgary, as did you, like, when university would have became an option, basically I went to college to get my secretarial arts diploma and went right into oil and gas. And there's so much money in oil and gas. I'm like, why would I go to university to make the same amount of money when I'm here now and I'm just going to proceed with this career? But the problem with oil and gas is it's so limited to where we live. Like, we live in Calgary, and if you're not living in Calgary as a Canadian, like, as an American, I think that there's maybe more options in oil and gas, but Calgary is it. So once I left here, I'm like, oh, well, now what do I do?
I guess I'll be a secretary.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
I do wish I would have gone.
Do you wish that you would have been a social worker? Like, looking back, do you think you'd, like, be really... I think you would be good at it.
And not the social worker that takes kids away from their family like that, but I like the counseling kind. Because my dad ended up working with people with fear. So you're agoraphobic, or you're afraid of spiders, or you're afraid of whatever. And I just found his job, like, so fascinating.
Yeah, interesting.
Like, and I find the human mind, like, the way people think and human behavior, like, I find that so interesting. So I think that if I could rewind my life and do it again, I'd either go into counseling or science. Like, I like just to study how, like, what makes people do the things that they do.
I find that stuff so interesting too. Just the whys. Like, when somebody, like, tells me a story, like, even, like, when you were talking about your brother, one of our last episodes, I'm just like, I need to know why he's, like, what he did I don't really care about, but, like, why do you think he was acting that way? Like, that's what I find.
I always want to know that too. Like, the human behavior, why. There was, like, a show, I believe it was on Netflix, and it studied, I think, 100 people, and it was a great show, and it showed 100 people, and then they gave them all, like, an experiment. Like, they didn't tell them it was a human experiment, but they'd say there'd be, like, a baby falling from the roof, like a doll. Would you hear this noise? And then they'd see reaction times and, like, just crazy shit like this. Or, you know, the idea of herd mentality. Like, there's smoke in the room, but there's 10 people who are like, oh, no, don't worry about it. And then the other people would be like, oh, well, I guess there's nothing to worry about. Like, I just find that shit fascinating as fuck. So I think I'd either go into science or some sort of psychology if I could do it again instead of podcasting.
Podcasting is your career at the moment.
Yeah, it's my career.
Okay, what's your go-to meal? If you're having people over for dinner, what is, like, you're like, okay, I know I'm gonna make this because it's just easy, I know how to do it.
Yeah, I'd probably do lasagna, Caesar salad, and garlic toast.
That's totally my go-to too. It's like, depends on how many people are coming. Yeah. But lasagna is always so easy because you can
always it tastes amazing.
You can prep it ahead of time. Yeah. Yeah. Either that or I do, like, a slow cooker or something. Like, if it's a big group, I would always do pulled pork in the slow cooker. So all you got to do is have buns and coleslaw and stuff, and people can serve them. Or, like, chili in a slow cooker.
Chili's another good one.
If it's a big group.
Spaghetti is a good one. Yeah. Like, any of those. Because I'm really good at making pasta dishes. Like, even, like, my chili would, like, if I have a lot of people over, I'm going to have things like bacon in it, and vegetables and mushrooms and onions. And people are going to be like, oh my God, this is the best. And I'm like, I know.
And I'm funny too.
Yeah. And I'm funny too.
Do you like having people, or are you a fan of hosting or being hosted?
That's a good question, because I don't often have people over. I think that I have a bit of anxiety about it, which is... Maybe that's odd.
Interesting.
And maybe there's a whole lot of, well, people are going to judge me that my house is too small. Or people, like, I'm not really sure what it is. But I think that I do like having people over. I do like them to leave.
I do set a time limit on the invitation.
You're allowed to come over for 3.5 hours. No. But I also really like going to other people's homes. Like, when I went to your house the other like, it was like weeks ago now, but it's like I haven't done that in so long, and it's just so good to look forward to something. You know?
Totally. I personally, I like going to people's houses, but I also really like hosting. Like, it's, like, fun for me to be like, what else do you want?
And you're so good at it, right?
Well, I wish if I had a bigger house, I would do it way more often, because I do know what you mean, though. Especially the older I get and the more I go to other people's houses, I'm like, oh, wow, like, it's way better to be here. Like, you guys have way better, like, setup. But I'm like, I feel like I try to make people comfortable, and I make sure we used to have big gatherings all the time before COVID. Oh, have you met so-and-so? Like, I never want somebody in the room to, like, feel like they don't know what's going on or whatever. I went to one friend's house, and she's, like, kind of known, at least in my mind, as, like, being, like, a very terrible host.
Okay.
She invites us all over for a fire for her birthday. Yeah. And we show up to her birthday. It's like she lives kind of out in the country. It's like a big... Nice. Okay, we're going up for a fire or whatever. We show up. There's no chairs. The fire's not started. There's, like, food inside, but she didn't tell anybody, hey, if anybody's hungry, there's food inside. Everybody's just standing around. Like, there's literally no chairs. Her husband had chopped No, he didn't even chop the wood. There was just a pile of wood. So Karsten like started chopping the wood, and then we all kind of like found chairs.
See, I do.
and, like,
I'm the opposite, and I would be getting totally anxious about it days before to be like, okay, the fire's need to,
Yeah.
and I would be like,
do we have
and
enough
the food,
wood?
and I would be on it. I'd have mental lists, and
Yeah.
I would be looking at everyone to make sure everyone was having a good
Does
time.
everybody have a chair? Does everybody have a drink? Like, are you
Yeah.
good? Do you want to put your beer in the fridge? Like,
Yeah.
just so you know, there's like food over here if you need anything. Like, so then the next year I went out and I'm like, I brought my own chair. I'm okay. We're going to, like,
Yeah.
you're obviously not that person. Because she's just sitting there in her own chair. Literally, it doesn't even cross her. Like, she's not a bad person. She
But
just doesn't
my
have
guess
that in her.
Is that if she went to somebody else's house, she also doesn't expect that. Like,
No.
that's just who she
That's
is.
exactly right. So then the next year I went and I brought my chair, but I think I might have had an extra one in my
Brought some
car.
snacks.
Honestly, it's not that she didn't have food. She just didn't tell anybody about
Yeah.
it. It was inside the house, but everybody was hanging outside. So how is anybody to know? Like,
Yeah.
unless they're going inside to pee and they see a bunch of food on the
And
table.
you're like, holy shit, there's food in
Oh
here.
my God, there's so much food. It's like nobody ate the food at my party. Well, I wonder why.
Yeah.
But so then I think I had extra chairs in my car, and like this person showed up. We're all around the fire, and this person's just standing there, and like my friend didn't even say like, oh hey, do you need a chair? And I remember being like, I have an extra chair in my car, do you want it? And the person's like, yeah, that'd be great. And I'm just like, you're the worst host I've ever met in my life.
That is just somebody who's so unaware, and
Totally.
I would imagine that her unawareness is like that all the time.
Yeah, it is
So,
for sure.
You've met my sister, and last week, anyone watches last week's episode, you'll see my sister's house. She lives in a fucking amazing house.
Yeah.
And my brother as well. So Christmas, Thanksgiving, all the things are held at either A or B.
Yeah.
Right? Well, there was one year when my brother was just moved out of one house and my sister was renovating a house or something. And so we couldn't have, like, it was Thanksgiving. We couldn't do it at either house. So it fell to my house. And so
Ooh.
I lived in, so my main floor was like 600 square feet.
Yeah.
And there's 12 of us, right?
Yeah.
So kids, and so what I did was I gutted out my garage and I hung plastic all the way around it, put leaves on the ground, and put strung lights up. And then I
Aw.
took tables and like through my garage and like plastic and like and the fold up chairs or whatever. And I had like this amazing then candles on the tables
Aw.
and acorns and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my family still calls it the best ghetto Thanksgiving dinner they
Aw.
ever had because it was like in the garage.
Yeah.
Like, where are we eating? In the garage.
Yeah, I've
But-
actually done that before at my house when we've had big gatherings. I've done the whole
Yeah.
garage thing too because I'm like, I just don't have the room, but I love to host people.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you just make it work
Yeah,
sometimes.
but
And
it took me weeks to set that up.
some people
you
are
know?
meant to be hosts and some people just are not.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like, I'd prefer people just come to my house sometimes because I'm like, I'll do it right. Don't worry. Plus, then I don't have to go anywhere.
And you make these amazing drinks.
Well, that's new,
Like,
but yeah,
holy
I'm
shit.
obsessed with them. I was dreaming about cocktails last night. Like, cocktails have taken over my life.
You need
guys.
to like make me your best cocktail. We need to make this part of this thing. Like, instead of wine, what the fuck? You need to bring me your favorite
Okay.
cocktail like every
So
time.
fun,
And
I
10
will.
o'clock in the morning, we'll be drinking mojitos or whatever. Like, make it time appropriate. Like, we can't
Yeah.
drink like
We can do
straight
mimosas
shots
and
of
stuff.
vodka in the
Yeah.
morning. Well, we
Oh,
could.
we could.
It's COVID.
I actually think that is a great idea,
Yeah.
and maybe next time we will plan that.
All right. Next
'Kay.
question.
If you had a time machine, would you go back in time to meet your ancestors, or would you travel ahead to meet your descendants?
Neither. You know what the fuck I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back like 10 years and buy some Bitcoin. I don't fucking care about my ancestors. I'm buying Bitcoin.
That was not one of the options. In a hypothetical, do you want to meet like your great 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 grandpa or like your kids?
I would meet my kids. Who the fuck cares about grandpa?
That's how I feel.
Yeah,
I think
interesting.
it's different though because there's some people who put such emphasis on the past. Like one of Karsten's family members is just so she loves talking about her great grandma and her and like the history of their family. Like it's so important to her. And I wonder if I asked her that question. She might say she wants to meet her kids, but I think
how do you feel about, say, your grandparents?
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about them?
I don't know them.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
And I barely knew my grandparents either. And maybe that's why we feel this way.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas I know my kids.
Yeah, and I want to know what kind of kids they have and stuff.
And I want to go, told you, losers. They were going to act like you.
Kids are
Serves you
assholes.
right.
Do you have any interesting scars, and what's your best scar story?
Man,
Oh, boring. Okay, I'm gonna tell my story.
Okay.
Then.
that was just a lead to tell your
Well,
story.
I was looking at a list of funny questions and I saw that one. I'm like, I got a good story,
Yeah.
but hopefully Monica has one
I
too.
don't have any scars.
I have a scar on my like right here,
Oh, yeah.
and I was 14.
It's a great place for a scar.
Yeah, it hides it nicely.
Yeah, never noticed.
Me and my friend were camping with her parents. We were
Mhm.
14 or 15, and we had discovered alcohol. So we were like sneaking it, drinking it all the time. Like we were just drunk. So we met some boys at a campsite down the way. They invited us to come back. We decided we would sneak out of the tent at night or whatever and go find them. So we're walking along the highway to go to this campsite, and we see cars coming. And in our drunken minds, we thought it was her dad. Ah, your dad's coming. So we took off running into like the
Oh my
field.
God.
Barbed wire fence.
Oh my God. You're probably bleeding everywhere.
And my friend like hit one of her fingers. I can't remember. Like there was like stuff coming out of her hand. Like we were mangled. We still went to the guy's campsite.
Of course you did.
And they're like putting booze on, like rum or something. Rum will kill the.
Kill the bacteria, maybe.
We go about our day, whatever. We end up back at in the morning. Her stepmom's like, "Why are you guys all banged up?" I'm like, "Oh, it must have been my watch." Anyway,
There was a lie and a I like it.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's a
Just
good
now I'm
story.
like, please, when I have kids, please don't do shit like that. Like
They're gonna.
walking along the highway, like running into.
I think that you're best to be honest. Like I wasn't allowed to go to parties,
Yeah.
and I think that for my kids, like, I was probably more stricter with Amanda than I was Johnny. But just tell me, I'll come get you.
Yeah.
And if I'm too drunk, which might happen, then I'll find a way to get you home. I'll Uber you home.
Karsten was saying that the other day because we're like having essentially this
Yeah.
conversation. You want your kids to be able to call you and all that stuff, and we're kind of like joking. We're like, if it's a weekend though, like, and they call us, it's probably we're not gonna be in any condition to drive.
No, but I have done that. Like I've been
Yeah.
out drinking with my friends, and then I get a call from a kid going, "Oh, I'm drunk," and I can get a ride home with Billy. Don't get a ride home with Billy,
Yeah.
Johnny.
Yeah, I will pay for your cab.
I will Uber you home.
Yeah, that's what
I did that a lot.
Nowadays, like
Yeah.
having Uber and all those options is really good. Hopefully it stops kids from drunk driving so much.
Well, I think that when Johnny first got his license, there was a lot of I'm taking my car out and I'm not leaving it downtown, and you're like,
Yeah.
even when you're like, I will get you there, there's still gonna be that.
I know I did it. Like I
Yeah.
definitely was like, well, my car's here. I'm good. I can drive.
Like I think that we talk about things like, oh yeah, I wash my hands every time, and
Yeah.
I don't never drive drunk, but
Yeah, we've all.
and I hate to say that, and I don't advocate for it. I don't say it's good.
Well, we got to stop this.
Okay.
Okay, let's take a break and we'll come back in a second.
All right, I do love you. All right.
And we're back.
And we're back.
So we have had enough talking about Monica. I feel like the audience knows you now.
Especially my hygiene now.
Yeah, exactly. So let's do a wine and what the fuck.
All right. So first with the wine, I think we've reviewed this before, but wine is a cheap wine, and
We liked it.
we liked it. So let's do it again.
Okay, let's do it.
Here's to you, and here's to me, and podcasting.
Here's to
and
drinking at
here's to-
10:30 in the morning.
Here's to drinking at 10:30. That's what it's about.
Yeah, still like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually do like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. So, anybody who's new to the show, this is the segment where we open our cheap bottle of wine and we're going to attempt to solve the problems of the world.
Yeah.
So, Monica scours the internet throughout the week and she finds crazy stories that make us go, what the fuck?
Obviously, I've got nothing better to do with my life. All right, let's go. I think that I'd be more ready, wouldn't you?
Yeah, get your shit together, Monica.
This is interesting because I think I know how we both feel about it, but I'm gonna read it anyways. Okay.
Okay.
Hi Reddit, because this is from Reddit. I'm 28 and I'll be getting married next year. We'll be holding a pretty great wedding with over 100 people. My best friend is Tara, and she's blind and has been blind since she moved into the neighborhood. She has a support dog who she uses, and she's very independent. My fiance and her parents are horribly allergic to dogs. My fiance doesn't want the dog to be allowed at the wedding because this is her special day and she should be able to choose who comes and goes to the wedding. The dog is not hypoallergenic and has a lot of fur. which would most likely worsen the problem. My fiance and her parents won't budge, and everyone agrees with it. The dog is certified service dog, and it's well trained, but it can't control its dander. And if I'm being 100% honest, this day belongs to my fiance, and she should be 100%. I told my friend that she could come, but no dog. We would escort her through the party, and she could just stay for the ceremony, and we could escort her away. She was upset and threw a massive fit and cried, and she doesn't have a lot of friends, and was really looking forward to the wedding, but now can't attend. She called my wife, and albeit she should take tablets, wouldn't hurt her, I agree, but a lot of her family have this problem, and is quite frankly more of a hassle to make everyone take medication than have her escorted. Also, I think the bride has a lot more to say than a guest. She's still hysterical and is blaming my fiance, and she called me an asshole for supporting my fiance and abandoning her. I do understand it's tough and I do understand it's tough and independence is important, but she's not compromising, so she can't attend. Am I an asshole?
Yes.
No. Okay, tell me why.
Okay.
I'm glad we disagree because
So
great.
it's your, like he said it was his best friend. Like this is a really good friend.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your really good friend.
Yeah.
I personally, you guys know this. I don't love dogs. I don't really love dogs that much. But the only way that you're like super affected by a dog is if you're like petting it. Like if it's just at the wedding, you're not going to be that allergic to it. So like stay away from the dog. The dog is there for like your friend who's this blind person, and you say we're going to escort her. Yeah, right. You're going to be busy getting married. So like unless you ask one of your other friends to do it.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that the husband and wife are going to have time to escort this person around.
But they could get someone to escort her.
They could.
Yeah.
But imagine how she feels. She's like, well, I'm already the blind one in the room, and now I have to like have this person who either she doesn't have a lot of friends, so it's probably going to be somebody she doesn't know that well, leading her around. How shitty is she gonna feel when she has a dog that's trained to do that? Like just let the dog come. Like it's crazy to me that they're making such a big deal out of this, and this is coming from somebody that doesn't like dogs.
Interesting, because I am on the total opposite camp. I'm like, yeah, fuck no, there's no way that I would let a dog lady come with her dog.
She's your best friend though.
Yeah.
Like that's, I think that people are so fucking weird.
She's my fiance's best friend. So me and Greg are getting married.
Oh yeah, you're allergic to dogs,
and I'm allergic to dogs, and I'd be like, and my family's allergic to dogs.
So you're the cunt wife.
I'm the cunt wife here.
Cunt wife here.
And I'm Karen. Karen is speaking right now. Okay.
Finally, you're the Karen.
Okay, and I think it's because, and so the Reddit group, like, they did expand to say that the parents were extremely allergic to dogs.
Oh God.
Okay, so, and I know that you're eye rolling here, but coming from, okay, so my daughter is extremely allergic to animals. So much so, like, I want to give you an example of, so when she was little, like 2 or 3 years old, my mother would come into the house and she'd have an asthma attack, like just from being like in the same room with my mom. And I'd say, Mom, have you been around dogs today? And my mom would be like, nope. And so, like, I just don't know what's wrong with Amanda. And like I'd have to like put her on a ventilator, this machine with a mask, and put her in another room and give her a bath. And then I was like, oh yeah, but I was in a room with a cat today, and I'd be like, fuck. And then I would have to take my mom and take her clothes and give her another set of clothes and put them in a garbage bag. Like my mother or anybody was not allowed to come over if they had seen animals.
So
it was that bad, and so much so that. Like, we couldn't go to hotel rooms. We couldn't do anything. Like,
okay, so in my mind, I didn't think it was that bad. If it's that kind of allergy, that's
But
different.
what about it's an allergy so much so that if you were in a room with an animal that your eyes are watering and you need to take pills and your asthma kicks in, you're not going to die, but you're going to be miserable because there's a dog in the room and it's your parents.
Yeah.
You know, like I think she said the bride also had an allergy. Yeah. So you've got 3 really important people, especially if it's the fucking bride.
Fair enough.
Is she gonna take antihistamines on her wedding? And when you take antihistamines, you can't drink, right? So I'm like, no, like, fuck, your dog's gotta go. Like,
yeah, but then that person doesn't get to come.
Yes, she can. Okay, so what blind person doesn't know how to use a cane? Like, fucking take your cane.
Oh, true. honestly, I think the reason I'm so like, ugh, like rolling my eyes because I'm like, everything has to be such a fucking issue in people's lives. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, this should not be this big of a deal. Like, why can't people just?
Why can't blind girl just suck it up for a day?
Blind girl has enough problems. Give her a break. She has no friends, and now she can't even have a dog.
Well, obviously she doesn't have any friends. She's a bitch.
Her only friend doesn't give a fuck about her. Like,
yeah, but okay, so the only friend, like, he's getting married to a woman who's
a cunt.
Who's Karen. No, I don't think she's a Karen. Like, I'm like, I read this and I'm like, well, of course she can't take her dog. That's what I thought. Of course she can't take it to her dog. Yeah. You know what drives me fucking crazy? I'm going to tell you, talking about dogs, is like I'd have people that would come over. And, like, Amanda is, like I said, so allergic to
I didn't even realize allergies like that existed.
Yeah, they do. And they'd come over and they'd be like, oh, I brought my dog. And I'm like, well, I guess your dog is sitting in the car. Yeah. Your dog cannot come in my house.
Yeah, it's a lot different, like, just not really liking dogs and having, like, I'm going to have a huge allergic reaction just from sitting around your clothes with dog fur on it. Like, if the bride and the bride's parents have that level of
But even if it's allergy, just oh my God, I'm going to feel miserable all day.
But like, I'm allergic to pets. I'm allergic to Karsten's mom's cat. But not that much. Karsten's mom's cat at her old house, if I went over there for dinner, I would always feel really uncomfortable by the end of the night. And
okay, so would you want that at your wedding?
No, of course not. Feeling? But that was because I was in a small house with the cat. Like, I was sitting on all the furniture. If it's a dog in a venue, I'm thinking, like, why does the bride and the parents even need to be anywhere around it? I'm picturing my wedding, like, easily you could have sat the woman and her dog far away from them. Like, if it's like let's my wedding, like, it's like a ballroom in a hotel, right?
Yeah, you have a point there.
The dog's way the hell over here. The bride's at the bride table. The parents are at this table. Like, there's zero reason for them to interact, and then everybody's happy. Like,
okay, let's come to a compromise on this one, because if I'm thinking that the venue, I said there's 100 people. So how big is your venue?
My wedding was like 110 people.
Mm-hmm, mine too.
And I was in a big ballroom,
I was in a big ass like hall, like a community center hall.
Yeah, so similar idea. Tables are super spread out. If it's a traditional wedding, you've got the bride and groom at the table, so bride's good. Like, don't just have the woman, like, keep her dog at her table at the back of the room, like, and just say to her, like, we've got a lot of allergies. You're gonna have to be aware of your surroundings. I know that's hard because you can't see anything.
You're gonna have to sit in the corner.
Well, no, we'll sit you at a table with the dog lovers. You know how many people love dogs? You know how many people would be like, oh my God, a dog at the wedding, sweet.
Okay, then all those people are going to be touching dogs, and then they're going to go up to the grandparents, and they're going to hug them, and then there's going to be allergies.
I think if there's a way that this can work, that it doesn't unless it is COVID. Maybe it's a tiny wedding in a house. Then no, you can't bring the dog.
Okay, so we agree that if it's a tiny wedding in a house, no, but it's 100 people, so And if it's a venue and a hall, then dog lady should be allowed to come. Okay.
Well, it's it's his best friend. Like, that poor dog. It's like, it's not my fault I'm blind. It's not, like, I don't know. Like, fucking, like, be my friend. Like, I have no friends. I just feel sorry for the blind lady, if I'm being honest. Maybe I like dogs. I actually forgot. I took a picture of me with a dog the other day, and I forgot to text it to you. I had Aaron take it of me. I'm, like, hugging this dog, and I think
you might have. Like, that was a couple months ago.
No. This has happened again. This is the second time. Like, this was recently.
What? I thought we were the same.
I'm turning into a dog lover. And then last night I was petting a dog, so I don't know. I don't want to own one. I never will own one.
When we're walking along, there's a dog. Greg's like, hey, buddy, no matter what the dog is, he has to touch them. He has to touch the dogs. He has to touch the cat. And I'm just like, fucking, why would you do that? Now you're sick and you can't breathe. And he's like, but I love the dog. And
that's weird.
I do not have that feeling.
I don't either. Like, I didn't go up to this dog to pet it, but I was sitting on the floor and the dog came up to me, and it was a very well-behaved dog. It just sat down and was in front. I'm like, I have no issue petting it. And I wasn't allergic. I'm allergic to cats, not dogs. So, like, for me.
But did you want to touch it?
Well, it was right next to me and I didn't mind. I was like, yeah, I don't mind this. If it was on me, like, there's dogs that, like, are on you and I'm like, get the hell out of here. Like, I want them to be like calm and well behaved. Like my friend was saying, she's like, this is how you like your dog, as the dog's like laying there being good. I'm like, that's how I like my dog. That's how I like my children. That's how I like people.
And
Well behaved and quiet.
Quiet husband, quiet children.
Yeah, everything just quiet and peaceful. I have enough energy.
Good thing you don't want your friends quiet, because not quiet.
I don't know. Yeah. So do we agree? Not really.
I think maybe we can agree that if it's a big venue, she can sit in the corner and not move.
I think also, at the end of the day, people need to be more willing to bend and budge. And people, it seems like that. Maybe it just seems worse on Reddit because everybody is like, this is my opinion and I refuse. I'm like, why are people so strict in their views? Like, people can't seem to like take other people's feelings into account and all this stuff. And if it's your best friend or like the person you're marrying's best friend, like, just like step back and like put yourself in their shoes.
Unless it's health related and you're gonna, and you know, as a bride, you don't want to have runny eyes and a runny nose.
And I understand that.
And like, if there's a chance that you're gonna have runny eyes and a runny nose because blind lady's coming.
Fair. And I just think that there's a way that you can probably make it so you get to stay away from the dog. Just like wave, thanks for coming to the wedding. I can't be near you. I don't know. Except don't wave. She can't see.
Are you a better person than me?
Well, I think that's known. No, actually, I don't think so because you're always like.
I'm usually the one who's like, Amanda.
It's usually when it has to do with Colton, though.
That's true.
Everything else, I'm good.
Yeah.
I just need to work on my parenting, which is like the main thing I do. So I suck at that.
I think that anybody who thinks they need to work on their parenting is a good parent. To be honest, it's when people are like, "Oh, fuck my kids," you know.
Yeah.
That they don't. So yeah. But I think we wrapped that one up.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a decision on it, but
yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Which one of us is right?
Or we'll just let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Does blind lady get to come or not?
Thanks for tuning in to the It's Really None of Our Business podcast
with Monica and Amanda.
You can find us on all social media. On Facebook, we have a Facebook group, Instagram, YouTube.
Where else?
That's pretty much it. Go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Our subscribers are going up.
Yeah, have we hit 1,000 yet?
Or we have not hit 1,000. We're around like 120 or 130.
Oh, that's cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep it coming. Let us know. We love when you guys comment on our videos and comment in the group.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll catch you guys.
Check you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to It's Really None of Our Business podcast with Monica and Amanda. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, you know all the places. If you've enjoyed this podcast, tell your friends, and please rate and review us where you can. If you are brave enough to reach out and ask us for advice, we will definitely read it out on our show. We'll totally keep your name anonymous, so what do you got to lose? You can reach us by email at ask.noneofourbusiness@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing from you guys soon. Ciao.